Hello Locality 16, welcome to Burton Street Foundation in Hillsborough in Sheffield. Let's take a look around.
The Burton Street Foundation in Sheffield is a charity and social enterprise supporting adults and children with learning and physical difficulties. You will see how a number of assets and working with the community, the local authority and local business is key to their success.
Every week there's about 2,500 people that come through our facilities and we work with up to 300 children and adults with learning disabilities. Our ethos is to improve their everyday lives but also to break down barriers, so we do that by encouraging lots of different community groups, businesses and different activities to happen on the same site so that everybody mixes and mingles together. So there's a whole host of different activities that happen here. These three buildings, Victorian school buildings, the community took them over when they were due to be demolished in the 70s. As an organisation, we transferred the ownership of them through an asset transfer from Sheffield City Council in 2004. So we're now stood in Capel Building. Burton Street used to be a Victorian school building, and this is the building in which we do most of our learning disability sessions. So we now do over 90 different tailored sessions for adults with learning disabilities, so that's everything from independent living, discussion, employment skills to art, drama, cooking. And it's all about getting clients to become more confident, improving their self-esteem and their self-awareness. And through that, their aspirations grow. So that largely happens in this building. So each of the rooms is designated for a different function. Currently we're stood in the music room. We've got a sensory room, an activities room which is largely for cooking, an art room and a drama studio. And then after hours, so our sessions generally finish around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then after hours our buildings are all opened up and the community use it for a variety of different functions. So this is one of our two now community cafes, so they're open to the general public. This one is open Monday to Friday. And anybody can come in and use it. It tends to be the place on site where our tenants mix with our clients and the general public, so it's a really important kind of focal point for Burton Street and the whole organisation. We run it largely with volunteers. We've got a skeleton staff team, and then we have some support from our FOBs, which are Friends of Burton Street volunteers, who come in and help us to support adults with learning disabilities on placement. The cafe obviously is downstairs. The main kitchens that prepare the food for us is upstairs, because also we run lots of catering for events and functions. So we've got a function suite upstairs and a bar, and we do everything from kind of christenings through to weddings, 21st parties, Kayleys, any kind of function that people want. And the conference centre is also upstairs. So every day we start with breakfast, so a few breakfast products, snacks throughout the day, and then we have 2 hot choices, salads, sandwiches, toasted sandwiches, jacket potatoes, hot pudding generally, but then also a vast array of cakes which are very popular with the clients and me. So now we're in Langsett Building. So in this building we've got a gym and a sports hall, both of which are open to the general public, but we use them again for sessions as well. So in the sports hall we've got all sorts of activities that take place, from rebound therapy, which is for people with very severe and multiple disabilities that enjoy the rebound from the trampoline and they find it therapeutic, and obviously get some exercise in that way. But there's also groups like the karate club that use almost every night. We've got a boxing centre and football clubs and things that come in and use the gym, so well supported. The rest of this building is really taken up with external tenants. So for that we act as landlord and they run their own businesses. So because of our history and the painful stage that we went through when we almost went under as an organisation, I think that was largely due to us having great ambition but not really keeping a close eye on finances. And allowing things to run away with us. It's vitally important to us that we maintain a sustainable future. So the risk of actually taking on a new building was quite something for us. So when we built our business plan, which we did starting with a grant from Big Potential and then from Power to Change, it was about creating a sustainable business model. So Power to Change in September last year awarded us a grant of £382,000, which was roughly split 50-50 between capital and revenue, and most of the capital went towards the internal redevelopment of the factory building, which we now call Banford. So we're now in Banford Building, so this is our newest building for Burton Street Foundation. So it was an old factory building with 13,000 square feet of empty space, and now we've managed to transform it into some fantastic new vibrant community space, some additional session rooms for adults with learning disabilities, and we're now studying children's services. We've got some tenant space, some social enterprises, and a day centre now for adults with Alzheimer's. So that's one of the community groups that we share this space with. So outside of this room, this is where our disability sessions now spread out. So this particular morning we're doing a promotion session, which is really about learning about balance and growing self-confidence, self-communication skills. And this particular session uses juggling techniques. So that's probably what you can hear in the background. So with Kia, they did the whole of one end of the building, and one of the things that we were able to do is to build a bungalow inside, which enables us now to teach independent living training to our clients. But it's also a facility that's rented out, so we rent it out to Crisis, to the Alzheimer's Society, and potentially to Youth Justice Services that might come on later on. The whole ethos of Banford Building, though, is really underpinned by trying to show to employers adults with learning disability in work. Jonathan, who you've seen working in the cafe today, he came to Burton Street after he'd been looking for work for about 7 years. Jonathan's married, he's got a young son, and he really just wanted to be able to support his own family. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do, but he'd had hundreds of job applications in. Very few had got through to the interview stage, but he suffered with anxiety, he suffered with diabetes, and it was very difficult for him to go through the interview process and then manage his medical conditions to be able to sustain work.
We had to do a little interview at the start, then 2 tasks as a team. First one with food hygiene, second one with like a scenario to prioritise how to deal with the situation, and then last bit was testing maths and English. You had to get D or above, and I passed all that.
So we're really pleased that Jonathan's just been awarded full-time work, and he's going to be working within the Northern General Hospital in Sheffield as a catering assistant. So Enterprise 100, the ambition for the project is to get 100 adults with learning disabilities in Sheffield into work in the next 3 years. So it's really important to us and also to our funders that we continue to act as a community hub. So we're a community centre, and traditionally we've had a number of community groups that use the centre. Now we've managed to increase that, so we've got over 50 different community groups, charities and small businesses that say that Burton Street is their home, and we need to continue to expand that and to become really important as a place where everybody in the community can come and benefit. Our ethos is everyone has a part to play, and we like to welcome everybody, whether they're volunteering in the organisation or actually just coming in, taking part in some sporting or dancing activities. We've had fantastic support from Locality when we were putting the bid together for Power to Change, but also before that when we were looking at how we could secure funding and where we might get that funding from. They know the links that we've got with local businesses, but they also know the strength of us as a community organisation. So I think they were crucial really in helping us to articulate that when we went for funding bids. I think what's possibly unique about us and what I would recommend to other organisations is to think wider than just the third sector and the community organisation sector, and to think about how you could link with businesses. We recently have worked with Sheffield Chambers of Commerce to gain links with businesses, and that will be increasingly important as we push forward with Enterprise 100. So sometimes that's about people raising funds for you, sometimes it's about raising awareness and for us raising our profile. And now it's about finding businesses that can give our adults with learning disability an opportunity to get into the workplace. And sometimes it's just through networking. Every link that we make with business helps in whatever way. So it might be that then a business can consider coming to Burton Street for a meeting or a conference, or it might be somewhere to hold their Christmas party. But whatever, there usually is a positive link that can come out of it. So I would encourage other organisations to really link quite closely with businesses. That's really what I think is probably key to our future.